You can see my name on the board. Most of you know who I am. You may not. Um, so this is like my first YouTube video, and I'm nervous. So mind me if I stutter. If I stutter a little, yeah, I've started stuttering. If I stutter a little, please pardon me. Still, you're upcoming, but actually, I'm going to be talking about something I do every single time. Like I, I've been doing, I've been working with students on their project for the past 5 years or 6 years. Yes, since 2016. It should be 6 years now. This is 2022 years. Since 2016, I've been writing students' projects. I've been writing students right from my HND one. I even wrote for my, I even helped my seniors then in HND two with their projects. That is how long I've been writing projects. But over time, I've developed into writing not just projects for just SL2 students in Polytechnic. I've written for university students. I write for master students. I assist PhD students with their project. That is how much I've built my skills. And over the past 6 years, I've been consistent. I've been doing this and doing this and doing this. Okay, so before I talk about myself too much, let's just focus on why we're here. So we are going to be talking about project writing for SLT students. Now, I'm picking SLT students because that is basically the kind of writing I do. I am specific. I don't do most. I hardly do other departments. I do majorly microbiology. Yes, microbiology writing. That's what I do because that is my major. That's what I majored in school. So, welcome once again, and let's begin. Now, this is project writing. I call it project writing for SLT 101. This is the first of its kind. This is the first course I'm doing. So, let's begin. Now, what to expect? What are you going to expect in this short video? We're going to talk about what is a project, the basics of project writing, choosing a project topic, understanding the research problem, talk about other part of the problem. Then there's a bonus point, which is the what is plagiarism. Now let's go. Let's get into details. What is a project? Now, project is an academic writing. There are other forms of academic writing. We have research, we have articles, we have preprints, we have these articles you see on medical articles you see on website like Medscape. We have journal publications, we have seminars, we have conferences, we have so many other forms of academic writing. So project writing is a form of project writing, a form of academic writing. Usually done by in a final year, especially if you are a final year for your masters, a final year for your PhD, final year for your HND, final year for your BSc, or final year for your OND. You are going to write a project, and this project is usually the time of we're going to write project, and students are running helter skelter and trying to find a solution to how to go and write their project. Most times, that's very challenging for LSAT students to find a really good, really good source or a really good way to write their project. That is why I'm doing this. Now, this project contains every single thing relating to this research you undertake. So you're just going to write down, it's like writing down everything you're going to do in your project for a particular research. Now, a project is a formal document that is divided into different sections. We have the abstract, the introduction, the literature review, the methodology, results and analysis of your findings, conclusions, and recommendations. All of this will be explained further in this video. So let's move fast. We don't waste much of our time. Now, there are different rules of project writing. Now, it's very important to understand these basics first. Very important to understand these basics first. So these basics will help us build on what we are going to talk about later. Now, project generally for whatever department you are in, project is actually a clear and focused kind of writing, just like other forms of academic writing, like published journals or conferences or seminar papers, it's actually a clear and focused writing. It's not haphazard. They don't go left, right. There's no hula baloo. You have to focus. It is clear and focused. If you're going to state a particular topic, if you're going to work on malaria, your project should focus on malaria. Don't divert into tuberculosis, except you are relating it somehow in a discussion. But it should be focused on that particular topic you're talking about. Now, a project uses evidence-based argument. Now, every single thing, every single statement from the introduction till the conclusion should be evidence-based, should be referred, should have a citation, should have a reference. Now, you can't just pick up something and say that okay, you can't just write something in a project and say just write it for writing purposes. It has to be evidence-based. There have to be a connection with something that has happened before. That is why you're putting it down. Now, it is as a logical structure. Like I said, the project follows a pattern. You can't start with conclusion and go to abstract then start introduction. No, it has to be coordinated like how life is. Life has to be coordinated. So it's also a logical kind of writing. Then we have citing sources. It's important that whatever you pen down, like I said, evidence-based argument, you have to cite these sources. If you pick a particular statement about spoilage of purple in a particular work, that is why it's important that you pick evidence-based argument. You have to cite the source. If it's Obu John Emmanuel that wrote it, you write Obu, comma, the year he did it. That's citations. You have to pick it. Now, you also have to avoid plagiarism. These most Nigerian schools do not really focus on this part, but if you are going to go international or if you're going to do your masters, your PhD, or move higher, yes, for those that are in lower classes, you're going to move higher, you have to know what plagiarism is. Plagiarism is very, very important. Now let's move forward. Now, parts of a project. Now, that the projects are broken down into different parts. There will be topic, like I said before, topic, the introduction, literature review, the method, the result on the discussion, conclusion, recommendation. Then I've taken abstract to the last because usually I write abstract the last after writing everything. The abstract is really the summary of everything, so there's no need to put it first. So let's go down to the topic. Now, the topic, choosing a project topic. Eh, this part is very, is the most important part of the project actually, because you're going to write, this is what you're going to write on generally. So your topic has to be something that is very original. What I mean original, I mean, I would say there's basically nothing you want to write now that is not on the internet. Mm-mm. The internet is filled with vast information, but you just have to coin a project, a topic of go online. Most times, what I do for most of my students that come for project topic and see that they've searched online, they use the topic or that supervisors have rejected topic is I look at the topic they brought from the internet and try to coin it to their own locality. Now, for example, there are definitely many topics on malaria. Yes, we know malaria is a very common topic. So if I'm going to look at the prevalence of malaria, you will see students say prevalence of malaria in Lafia. Now, there are definitely studies that have done prevalence of malaria in Lafia or prevalence of malaria in Edo State. But actually, we can now break it down, and make it look more original. The prevalence of malaria among pregnant women within the ages of this and this, or yes, within the ages of this and this, or in the gestation period of this and this in this locality in Edo State or in Nasarawa State. So the topic has to be simple and original. Now I've taken that generic topic and made it something original to myself. That is how it is. That is how your topic should be. Going further, if you're going to pick isolation and identification of microorganisms responsible for the spoilage of bread in Nasarawa State, man, that topic is yeah. There are people that have done topic before, but you can actually bring that topic down and add some statements into it to make it more original. Now, isolation and identification is usually the general thing most people like to use. But you can come and put to say the growth kinetics. Now you isolate, identify, and add a growth kinetics. Growth kinetics is like your own addition to it. You can also come and check the growth kinetics in different bread production process. Now you can also add you can isolation, identification, and the growth kinetics of bread produced in this bakery and this bakery. You are doing a comparative analysis. So your topic should be what's original. I'm eating on this part because it's very, very important. Now, your next point, your topic should be manageable. When I say manageable, I mean something you can handle. Don't go and pick a topic that will take you 2 years to write. Mm. Yeah, there are topics like that. It'll take you 2 years to write. You're not doing PhD now. Maybe if you're doing PhD, I don't know. But this is 101. This is project 101. So this one is not for PhD students. So you cannot go and pick a topic that is not manageable. Don't pick a topic. Pick a topic that is manageable that you can do in the shortest time possible. Now, I'm going to use this topic. This is a very, very common topic. We're going to look at the prevalence of tuberculosis in. Imagine you pick a topic like prevalence of tuberculosis in Edo State or in Lagos State. Lagos State is very big. God Almighty. How many hospitals do you want to cover? How long will it take you to study prevalence of tuberculosis in Lagos State? That's a really wide topic, really, really wide coverage. So you have to break it down. Now, do something like this. The incident rate of tuberculosis in Moshi local government. Now, this is even still big. You can even further break it down to say the prevalence rate of tuberculosis within a particular age range, let's say among 8 to 15 years old children, or among children between the age of 8 to 15 in Mushin local government. Now, you have streamlined, you have broken your topic down. You have broken your topic down. And the example to look at is the spoilage of tomato. You are seeing the isolation and indication of microorganisms responsible for the spoilage of tomato. Now, that microorganisms has broadened your topic. Microorganisms are wide. You have to identify viruses, bacteria, fungi, protists, algae. That's a really wide topic to identify. You can just streamline it to say isolation and identification of bacteria responsible for the spoilage, or isolation and identification of bacteria responsible for the spoilage of tomato. Now, another part is where are you studying it? Where are you covering all the markets in a particular state or in a particular country or in a particular location, or you're looking at specific markets? Now, most times it's important to look at specific markets. You can say isolation and identification of bacteria and fungi responsible for the spoilage of tomato in a particular market. I don't know what kind of market is in your location, but yeah, we can say in tomato market or in the modern market or in the neighborhood market. So you have to streamline it to make it manageable. And another point is your topic has to be something you are interested in. Don't go and pick topic from the blue and start working on it. You would get lost on the way. You'll not be able to explain it to yourself. Find something you're interested in. Microbiology is divided into different aspects. We have food, we have environmental, we have medical, we have industrial and applied. So you can look at these different zones and say, okay, I'm interested in food microbiology. I'm going to work with food microbiology. For me, I'm more interested in food microbiology and antimicrobials as ethnomedicine. So most times I work with antimicrobial testing. I work with food microbiology. I'm not really interested in medical microbiology. Yeah, that's not what I'm interested in because I find it's too complicated for me. Sort of. So I generally focus on food microbiology and antimicrobials, that is ethnomedicine. That is basically what I'm interested in. Then your topic has to be something relevant. It has to be something relevant, meaning that it has to be solving a problem. You can't just come and pick a topic that has no relevance to human. Now, it has to be solving a human problem. You cannot find something that is not relevant to human problem. You cannot pick a topic. You have to pick a topic that has to be relevant to human. For example, you cannot pick a project topic like the production of ethanol from cassava, or comparative analysis of the production of ethanol from cassava and pineapple. From literature, we know that we can get a lot of ethanol from cassava. So why is it relevant? Why am I doing this study? Is it am I trying to make encourage people to drink more ethanol, or we don't know that pineapple has less ethanol than cassava? No, it has to be something relevant, something that is useful to human. Okay, so let's move forward. Now, I'm going to state this out very, very importantly. Another important part is that the important thing in writing projects is the problem statement. Now, stating the problem, even for me, when I started writing project for like 3 years, yeah, for like 3 4 years, I wasn't able to get stating of the problem very well. But in the fifth year, I began to understand after looking at a lot of work, and I've read over, I don't know how many journals I've read. I've read more than 1,000 journals because I keep reading and doing research and doing research and doing research. So over time, I've read these journals and I'm like, okay, wow, this is how to state your problem. Now, the problem is usually the foundation of the project. Now, all that is contained in your project is connected to solving that problem, right? So if you don't know the problem, you cannot be able to solve, you cannot be able to write a good project. Now, it is true this problem, you're able to conclude and say that, okay, yes, this is what it is, and make recommendations to solve that problem. Now, I'm going to use the same topic. Excuse me. I'm going to use the same topic about tuberculosis. Now, if you want to check the prevalence of tuberculosis among children aged between 8 and 15 in Mushin local government, why? What's the problem with children with 8 and 15? Is it that there is no information available on it, or there are less information available on it, or these children, this age group are neglected? Now, this you see, I've listed these few problems, about two problems: no information, less information. This age group are neglected, you know, and or this the age group are neglected in this particular zone. That way you'll be able to know, okay, this is the problem that I want to solve. Now, once you know the problem, other parts comes easily. Every single part is commentary, it just flows. It just flows. Just like when you want to know your goal, you're able to achieve your success, everything flows. Now, you don't have to be a genius to write projects. You just have to understand what you need to do in a project. Now, let's start with the introduction. The next thing is introduction. After choosing your topic, you know your topic, you have done research about it, and the topic has been approved, you will start writing your project. Now, the first step is your chapter one, which is usually the introduction. You have to give us an introduction to your what? Project. Now, introduction always contain a background information. Background information is like a foundation, like a little preamble from other studies or literature review. Like if you're going to work on the antimicrobial activity of guava and orange against Escherichia coli. Now that's a very, very streamlined topic than picking against microorganisms. Which microorganisms? You have to be specific to microorganisms against Escherichia coli and Salmonella. Now I'm going to give an introduction that has to that will talk about antimicrobial resistance. That will talk about antibacterial activity of mango. That will talk about antibacterial activity of guava. That will talk about E. coli. That will talk about Salmonella. Now that is what my introduction will cover. You see, I've stated them, the antimicrobial activity. I will give a small problem in the beginning and state antimicrobial resistance. Then medicinal plants have been used as this, and these medicinal plants include mango and guava, you know, mango and guava, then move down to them to stop. They've been used to do this and do this and do this. Now from introduction, I will just get from other literatures and see. But these things I listed out are the kind of things that will be in introduction. Now the next thing is a problem statement. Like I explained it before, your problem statement is why are you doing this research? Like let me do the same topic on the antimicrobial resistance, antimicrobial activity of guava and orange on Escherichia coli. Now, the problem can be that yes, we know that these plants may have antimicrobial properties. Okay, and these studies and these particular studies have shown that they have antimicrobial studies, but we do not know their they've not been able to compare or know their synergistic effects. Now you see that I've brought a problem that even if yes, studies exist that they have tested the antimicrobial activity of these plants, but there have not been any studies that have shown what the comparative effect and the synergistic effect against these two isolates I'm picking. Now that is a particular problem. Now, so everything I'm going to write, the aim, the objectives, the justification will go alongside what's the problem. Now, the next thing is the justification of the problem. Now, in justifying your problem, you will tell me why this problem is relevant. Now, that's what justifying is. Okay, why? Why is this problem important? Why is it relevant? Why am I trying to test the antimicrobial resistance, antimicrobial activity of guava and orange against this organisms? Now, these organisms, your justification can be that these organisms have grown resistance to many drugs, and we take oranges and we take guava. So, and studies have shown that they have some phytochemical properties that might be able to stop these microorganisms. So, to be able to use them, to be able to, you know, this way I'm trying to justify it. It's coming from my head. So most times have to sit down, clear and write, clear and write, clear and write before it comes into your head. But yes, this is like the foundation of it. Just tell us why you want to do this. You want to solve this problem. Now the next thing is the aim and objectives. The aim and objective is very very simple. The objectives you are being listed out. The aim is just one. Sorry, it's not supposed to be aimed. It's supposed to be aim. One aim is one aim. The aim and objectives, not aims. Aim and objective. Now the next thing is significance of the study. Who will this study be important to? Who will find this study important? And we're still going to use the same example of the antimicrobial activity of guava. Now, this study, this particular topic will be relevant to the pharmaceutical industry if it turns out that these plants were really good. They were able to extract the phytochemicals present and use them to what counter these organisms antibiotic resistance. It will be important to traditional medicines. It will be used as a source of reference materials for other research based on this for other organisms. You have to list them. It's important to the community, to the academic world, to traditional medicine, to the orthodox. Is it orthodox? I call them. Is it orthodox? I don't know the English. Yeah, modern medicine. Shall this English medicine? Yes. So, yes, that is the significance of the study. Now, this pattern might be different from different schools, so the arrangement may not be exactly like this. I don't know how the school format is like. Now, the next thing is your literature review. Literature review is usually chapter two. The reason why I like literature review is this: most times, literature review is like quite the easiest part to write because you're just looking at other people's work on a particular project, other people's work on a particular topic. I mean, look at other people's work, gather information on it, give plenty background. For if I'm going to talk about, I'm still going to use this same topic on the antimicrobial activity of guava and orange against salmonella and E. coli. So I'm still going to use the same topic. Now I'm going to give a medical review. I'm going to talk about medicinal plants. One. I'm going to talk about guava. I'm going to talk about orange. No, you see, I'm going to keep listing them up. I'm going to give you a heading about orange. I'm going to give different headings. Make it spread the headings, the botanic, scientific, the taxonomy of guava, the phytochemical spreading in guava, the nutritional benefit of guava. I'll do the same thing for orange. I'm going to discuss E. coli, the virulence of E. coli, the antimicrobial resistance presence in E. coli, the antimicrobial gene in E. coli, same thing for salmonella. Now, this way I've spread my usual review, and this is like the how do I call it, the fat of the project. This is where most of your work, you keep bombarding things into the diagrams, tables, charts from other results, from other studies can be brought into literature review. So this is, but it's important that citations are there. You can't just carry something from Google and dump it there. It has to be evidence based. Remember, I said it there that it has to be what, evidence based, and you have to cite these sources. And that video, I'm going to explain what citation is, but you have to cite these sources. And the next thing is your method, materials and method, your methodology. What method are you going to use to solve that problem and to achieve your objectives? Now, you have to state the result out, the materials you will use, the process, your study area, how you collect your samples, how you process the samples, how you prepare the particular media, how the kind of analysis you want to do. Then this also will contain, you also present your find how you present your findings and how you intend to analyze your data is everything in your methodologies. Are you, what statistical package are you using? Are you just going to use tables and charts, or are you going to subject your results to SPSS or other forms of statistical packages that is contained in your method? The next thing is results and discussion. This is usually the second to the last or the last chapter. Last chapter most times, or the second to the last chapter. You present all your findings in tables, in charts, depending on how your school wants it. In tables, in charts, you have to present everything you found. Then you have to discuss the results. Now, in discussing the results is another part that has to do with relating your work to other people's work. Now, you have found out that okay, the orange has this particular kind of resistance, antimicrobial activity towards E. coli. Which other study has shown this? Now, compare it to that study. That I say, like, your topic, your work has to be, project writing has to be evidence based. That is why you cannot forge results, because it has to be evidence based. Which other studies have shown that this and this has happened? From what literature has shown that this and this has happened before, even if it's not E. coli and it has happened to other gram-negative organisms, you state it. So you have to state that okay, this particular thing has worked before, and you're comparing it. Is it in agreement, or is not in agreement? If it's in agreement, why is it in agreement? If it's not in agreement, why is it not in agreement? And why is the result like this? Why is your result not like this? Or this is where the discussion comes in. You have to just tell us, okay, this is why it is. This is like this. This is like why it's like this. This is why it's like this. No, back and forth. Explain in details what your result is all about. So you have to discuss your result. This is a place where you express yourself freely and say your results, discuss your results, how you see them. Now, the next thing is conclusion. Now, usually conclusion is drawn from the discussion of the result. After discussion of the results, your conclusion is drawn from there. Now, after all this discussion, what did you find from your results? What can you conclude from your result? What can you recommend from your results? Are you saying that these fruits have antimicrobial resistance and should be used, or they are not good enough and should not be used, or that they are not? You have to just state, conclude, and give us recommendation based on your findings. Based on your findings. Now, the next thing is abstract. Now, I put abstract last, but usually abstract appear first before any other thing in the work. The abstract is like the summary of everything contained in your project. Everything in your project has to be in your abstract. I don't know how you compound it. Most times you do 300 words, you have to compound it. So you have to give us brief introduction, state your aim, the method, results, and discussion, then conclusion, recommendation. I use this keyword IMRAD, IMRAD, knowing that okay, I have to give a few just small introduction, then the aim. Most times, you just start with the aim. The aim of this study is to do this and do this and do this, and to achieve this, this and this and this and this was done. Then the result shows that this and this was appeared. From this result, it can be concluded that this and this should be done. Then the recommendation, therefore, is recommended that that way. You see, I've brushed through a particular abstract and I'm done. That is what the abstract is all about. Just from your work, what can you summarize for your work so that most times during a project defense or paper presentation, the first thing they look at is your abstract. They want to know your abstract, don't see your abstract before they even look into other parts of the work. So from your abstract, you can get a glimpse of every single thing you did in the work and how you did them. Now come to the bonus points. To the bonus points, plagiarism. To the bonus class, yeah. Plagiarism. Let me just put it. Plagiarism is copy and paste. You just copy and paste it. You are taking another person's word or ideas and saying that yes, let me write them. These are my words, which is very, very wrong. Most of the time, plagiarism is usually deliberate, but sometimes it can be accidental because I don't know, I'm speaking pigeon, sorry. I don't know how you're going to write some particular words that somebody have not used before. So it is, most times it can be accidental, yes, especially in the literature review, you'll be tempted to copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. But actually, you have to find a way to paraphrase these words. So when it comes to project writing, plagiarism is taken seriously. If it's not taken very seriously in this country, in other parts of the world, yes, it's taken seriously. So why you should not plagiarize? If you plagiarize, you're saying that something is your work when it's not yours. You're lying. It's not good, and you're not learning anything from it. For when I started writing projects, yes, I can remember that I used to just copy and paste. Just pick the person's work and copy and paste, then cite it. I never understood anything about plagiarism because our schools did not tell us anything about plagiarism. It was when I came out of school and was writing for a Canadian man, yes, for his project, and he said I should not plagiarize. I'm like, what is plagiarize? I know I didn't ask him, or I just go and check online what plagiarism means. So I was able to understand. Oh, wow, this is what plagiarism is about. Then I have to find tools to let me paraphrase. I have to find it to paraphrase my words myself. All those things they are important to do. Excuse me. You need to provide evidence that is for these ideas and facts. You need to show where they come from and what they are based on by citing sources. That is why you should not plagiarize. I need to understand the material, understand your work, so you can come to a conclusion. If not, when you plagiarize, you don't know what you've done. You just copying and pasting, and it may not be related to your work. Now, how do you avoid plagiarism? You avoid plagiarism. You research, you read, you repeat. Do the same thing. Research, read, and repeat. You give all your time to the work. You don't procrastinate. You use quotation mark when necessary, especially words you cannot paraphrase, like definitions, like um a particular statement made by a scientist, and you cannot paraphrase those words. You have to quote them. Try and coin words, paraphrase. Then use plagiarism checker as you're going on the way. When you reach a particular stage, you check for plagiarism. I've listed some plagiarism checker for you here. Eagle Scan is a Nigerian plagiarism platform. Then you have One Text, you have Tunington, Edubedi, and so many others. Now, websites to aid your research. I've listed down some websites that will be able to aid your research and many more. Most times just use Google. Google is a very good source of information. Google it takes you to this website, but most times you're able to get the information you want. So these websites are actually very useful. Thank you very much for listening. I really, really hope you learned something. So please, if you do learn something, drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and thank you very much.